Picture this. The year is 1918. New Orleans, a city known for its vibrant culture and joyful spirit, is about to be gripped by an unknown terror. As we delve into the early 20th century, we find ourselves transported to a place of jazz and jubilation, a city that beat to the rhythm of its own drum, New Orleans. A city where the air was always thick with the tantalizing aroma of Creole cuisine, where the streets echoed with the soulful melody of jazz and the laughter of its inhabitants. A city where every corner was a celebration of life, a testament to the human spirit's resilience and joy. Before the spectre of fear descended, New Orleans was a city of light, life, and love. The people, a diverse blend of cultures and backgrounds, lived their lives steeped in tradition, their days filled with work, their nights with music and dance. It was a city that never slept, a city that believed in the magic of the night, the allure of the unknown. The city's vibrant streets were lined with businesses that thrived on the city's unique culture: the bakeries, the blacksmiths, the tailors, and the jazz clubs. The Mississippi River, the city's lifeblood, flowed with a serene strength, mirroring the people's unwavering spirit. Amidst this backdrop of celebration and camaraderie, the stage was set for a story that would forever change the city's landscape. The year 1918 was a time of change. The Great War was nearing its end, and the world was on the cusp of a new era. But in New Orleans, a different kind of change was looming, a change that would cast a long, dark shadow over the city's bright lights. An unknown terror was about to grip the city, a terror that would come to be known as the Axeman of New Orleans. But little did the people know, their city was about to be plunged into fear by a shadowy figure. On the night of May 23, 1918, the city's joyous rhythm was disrupted by a chilling event. In the heart of New Orleans, where jazz music often painted the night, a sinister melody began to play. The first notes struck by the Axeman were heard, both horrifying and heartbreaking. Joseph and Catherine Maggio, a beloved couple, were the first to be caught in this terrifying performance. They were well-known, hard-working Italian grocers, respected and liked within their community, but that night their ordinary lives were disrupted in the most extraordinary and horrifying way. Without delving into the gruesome details, it's sufficient to say that the scene discovered by their brothers was a shocking one, a dreadful tableau that left the city in a state of disbelief, like a chilling winter wind sweeping through the warm, vibrant streets of New Orleans. The city had faced its share of crime, yes, but this was different. This was something that would change the rhythm of life in the city forever. The police were called, and the news spread like wildfire. The whispers filled the city's air, quiet conversations in the markets, hushed tones in the jazz clubs, rumours swirling around like a storm. Fear began to seep into the heart of the city, its people looking over their shoulders, locking their doors tighter, their laughter a little quieter. An axe, the weapon of choice, was left at the scene, a chilling calling card. It was a statement that sent shivers down the spine of the city. It was a message that said, "I am here and I am watching." It was a symbol of a terror that was yet to come. This first act, this inaugural performance of the Axeman, marked the beginning of a series of horrifying events that would grip the city for over a year. It was a symphony of fear, with the Axeman as the conductor and the city, the unwilling orchestra. This was just the beginning of a reign of terror that would permeate the city's very soul. As weeks passed, a terrifying pattern began to emerge. With each new moon, the city of New Orleans woke to news of another victim, each crime scene mirroring the last. Let's delve deeper into the chilling similarities among the cases. The first common thread was the method of entry. The Axeman, as he would come to be known, had a peculiar way of gaining access to his victims' homes. He would chisel out a panel on the back door, creating a hole just large enough to reach through and unlock the door from the inside. A chillingly patient and meticulous approach indeed. The choice of weapon was the next piece of this gruesome puzzle. In each case, the Axeman would not bring his own weapon. Rather, he would use what he found in the victims' homes, usually an axe or a straight razor. This added an extra layer of horror to the crimes, turning the victims' own tools against them in the most brutal way. Now, let's talk about the victims themselves. There was no discernible pattern in terms of age or occupation. The victims ranged from the elderly to the young, from the affluent to the working class. But there was one common factor. All victims were of Italian descent, suggesting a possible bias or vendetta against this particular community. The Axeman was not just a murderer, he was a symbol of terror, sowing seeds of fear that sprouted in the hearts of New Orleans citizens. The unpredictability of his attacks, the randomness of his victims, and the brutal efficiency of his methods created a climate of fear that permeated every corner of the city. In a city known for its vibrant culture and lively spirit, an ominous shadow had been cast. The nights were no longer filled with the sounds of jazz and laughter. Instead, they echoed with the whispers of a name that had come to inspire dread. The city was gripped by fear. The Axeman had made his mark. In March 1919, something unexpected occurred. The Axeman, the silent terror, decided to make his voice heard. He did so by penning a letter, a chilling missive that was to be published in newspapers for all of New Orleans to read. The Axeman's letter was a haunting declaration. He claimed to be a demon from hell, a being not of this world. He promised to spare any household playing jazz music on a particular night. This was a strange demand, a terrifying ultimatum, and it sent shockwaves throughout the city. He wrote, "I am very fond of jazz music, and I swear by all the devils in the nether regions that every person shall be spared in whose home a jazz band is in full swing." The city's jazz musicians, usually playing for joy, suddenly found themselves playing for their lives. The audacity of the Axeman was staggering. He was not just a silent terror now, he was a theatrical terror, a demon dancing to the rhythm of jazz, orchestrating a symphony of fear. The public's reaction was of sheer terror, but also disbelief. Was this some cruel joke, or was the city truly in the grip of a demon? The newspapers published the letter, and the city waited in fearful anticipation. Jazz music filled the night, the city's way of defying the terror that threatened to consume it. The letter was a chilling reminder of the power the Axeman wielded over the city. It wasn't just about the attacks now, it was about the fear, the dread, the anticipation. Every sound in the night, every shadow on the wall, it all became a potential threat. In the end, the Axeman had successfully turned New Orleans into his personal stage, forcing its inhabitants to dance to his tune. The city was in the grip of a madman who seemed to be playing a cruel game. On the fated night of March 19th, every jazz band in the city was playing their hearts out. It was a night that would go down in the annals of New Orleans history, a night of fear, defiance, and paradoxically, celebration. The city was under the shadow of the Axeman, a mysterious figure who had promised to spare any place where jazz music was being played. The public reaction was a mix of terror and disbelief. Some dismissed the Axeman's proclamation as a mere bluff, a chilling attempt to stoke fear and chaos. Others, however, took the threat seriously, filling their homes with the vibrant tunes of jazz, hoping that the music would ward off the ominous presence of the Axeman. The city's jazz bands, usually the purveyors of joy and merriment, found themselves in the unusual position of being the city's defenders, their music a talisman against the unspeakable terror lurking in the dark. The night unfolded with a palpable tension. As the sun set, the city's streets were filled with the sounds of jazz, blaring from every corner, every window, every open door. From the lively beats of Dixieland to the soulful melodies of blues, the city was a symphony of survival, a testament to its spirit and resilience. As the hours passed, the fear gradually gave way to a strange sense of camaraderie and unity. People gathered in homes, bars, and public squares, their collective heartbeats syncopated to the rhythm of the jazz music playing around them. The night turned into a celebration of life, a defiant stand against the shadow of the Axeman. And when the morning dawned, the city breathed a sigh of relief. The night of jazz had passed without incident. The Axeman, it seemed, had kept his word. But the memory of that night, the fear, the music, the unity, would forever be etched in the city's collective consciousness. New Orleans had never seen a night like this. The city had danced on the edge of fear, its heartbeat echoing the rhythm of jazz, its spirit undeterred by the lurking menace. The night of March 19th was a testament to the indomitable spirit of New Orleans, a city that danced even in the face of danger. The terror, however, was far from over. As the calendar flipped to October of 1919, the city of New Orleans held its breath, fearing the return of the Axeman. The last known attack attributed to this faceless phantom occurred on the night of October 27, 1919. Our scene unfolds in the home of Mike Pepitone, a hard-working local grocer. The night was as ordinary as any other, until an ear-splitting scream shattered the tranquility. Pepitone's wife, awakened from her sleep, rushed into the bedroom to find her husband brutally attacked, blood splattering the room. An axe, not belonging to the Pepitones, lay discarded on the floor, the trademark calling card of the axeman. But unlike the previous incidents, the killer was nowhere to be seen. No shadowy figure, no fleeting ghost, nothing but the eerie silence of the night. The news of the attack spread like wildfire throughout the city. The public's reaction was a mix of terror and disbelief. How could this happen again? The city's streets, once bustling with life, grew quiet as people stayed indoors, their homes locked tight. The playful sounds of jazz that once filled the air were replaced by an oppressive silence. The police, desperate to catch the killer, increased their patrols and offered rewards for information. But it was all in vain. The axeman, like a wisp of smoke, disappeared, leaving behind a trail of fear and unanswered questions. The aftermath of the Pepitone attack was a turning point. The city of New Orleans, once a vibrant hub of music and merriment, was now a community living under the shadow of an unseen terror. The axeman had struck for the last time, but his shadow lingered. The axeman had vanished as mysteriously as he had appeared, but he left behind a legacy of fear. The terror that had gripped New Orleans in the late teens of the 20th century did not dissipate with the axeman's disappearance. The impact of his reign of terror was profound and far-reaching. The city, known for its vibrant spirit and joie de vivre, was shrouded in an eerie silence, the echoes of the axeman's deeds reverberating through its streets and alleyways. The citizens of New Orleans, once carefree and exuberant, were now wary and cautious. The spectre of the axeman loomed large over their lives, casting a long, dark shadow that seemed to touch everything and everyone. People locked their doors and windows tight, a practice that was unheard of in the city's close-knit communities. The fear was palpable, lingering in the air like the thick, heavy fog that often blanketed the city. The axeman's reign of terror had another unexpected consequence. It seeped into the city's culture and folklore, becoming a part of its very fabric. The tales of the axeman became the stuff of legend, passed down from generation to generation. His story was told and retold, each time with added embellishments and flourishes that made him seem even more terrifying. The axeman's legacy was not just one of fear, however. It was also a legacy of resilience and defiance. The people of New Orleans refused to be cowed by their fear. They rallied together, standing strong in the face of adversity. The city's vibrant culture and spirit were not quashed, but instead found a new, deeper resonance. The music, the food, the festivals, all took on a new significance, a testament to the indomitable spirit of the city and its people. The axeman was gone, but he would never be forgotten. His legacy of fear had become an integral part of the city's history, a chilling reminder of a time when the city was held hostage by an unseen terror. But it was also a symbol of the city's resilience, a testament to its ability to rise above fear and adversity. New Orleans had survived the axeman, and it would continue to thrive, its spirit unbroken and stronger than ever. Despite the best efforts of the police, the identity of the axeman remains a mystery to this day. A century has passed since the chilling events in New Orleans, and yet we're still grappling with the same unanswered questions. Who was the axeman? Why did the attack suddenly stop? And most intriguing of all, why does this case remain unsolved? One popular theory suggests the axeman may have been a skilled butcher or a surgeon, given the precision of the attacks. But with no tangible evidence, this remains nothing more than speculation. Another hypothesis points to the mafia, considering the Italian immigrant victims. But again, there's no concrete proof to support this claim. The investigation was further complicated by the lack of sophisticated forensic tools that we take for granted today. DNA analysis, fingerprint databases, surveillance cameras, none of these existed in the early 20th century. The detectives were relying solely on eyewitness accounts, which were often unreliable and contradictory. Additionally, the axeman seemed to be always one step ahead of the law enforcement, leaving no trace of his identity behind. His modus operandi was unique, with each attack adding a new layer of complexity to the puzzle. This suggests that the Axeman was someone highly intelligent and meticulous, making it even harder for the police to pin him down. But perhaps the most puzzling aspect of this case is its abrupt end. Why did the attacks cease as suddenly as they began? Some believe the Axeman might have died or been incarcerated for an unrelated crime. In the years that followed, the Axeman became more than just a historical figure. He became a legend. As time moved forward, the Axeman of New Orleans, a faceless terror of the early 20th century, began to seep into the fabric of popular culture. His chilling story was retold and reimagined, his shadow lurking in the corners of books, movies, and even music. In literature, the Axeman's tale has been the inspiration for countless thrillers and crime novels. These stories, while often embellished, bring to life the eerie atmosphere of New Orleans in the years 1918 and 1919, when the city lived under the shadow of an unknown menace. Moving onto the silver screen, the Axeman has been portrayed in numerous films and television series. These cinematic interpretations, with their gripping narratives and atmospheric settings, have ensured that the Axeman's story continues to captivate audiences around the world. In the realm of music, the Axeman's love for jazz, as evidenced by his infamous letter, has been the inspiration for several songs and compositions. These musical tributes often blend elements of jazz with a sense of unease, mirroring the paradox that was the Axeman, a lover of music who also dealt in fear and violence. Even in the digital age, the legacy of the Axeman endures. He has become a popular figure in online communities, with numerous podcasts, blogs, and social media accounts dedicated to exploring his story and its many mysteries. The Axeman's story, with its blend of mystery, terror, and intrigue, has proved irresistible to storytellers of all kinds. Each retelling, each reinterpretation, keeps the legend alive and ensures that the Axeman continues to haunt the collective imagination. Yet, despite the many ways his story has been told and retold, the Axeman remains a figure shrouded in mystery. His identity, his motives, his fate, these questions still linger, adding to the allure of his legend. The Axeman of New Orleans, a faceless terror, an enduring legend. As we delve into the annals of history, we are reminded of the chilling tale of the Axeman, a spectre that haunted the city of New Orleans from 1918 to 1919. The Axeman's story is a chilling reminder of a time of fear and uncertainty. This elusive figure, known for his brutal attacks and fondness for jazz, left an indelible mark on the city. As we retell his story, it's important to remember that the people of New Orleans were more than just victims. They were survivors who found strength in their community and their culture, even in the face of terror. The Axeman, with his brutal strikes and haunting letters, created a legacy of fear. Yet it is not the fear that we remember most. Rather, it is the resilience of a city that refused to be silenced. The music played on, even as the city was held in the grip of fear. Jazz, the very music the Axeman claimed to love, became a symbol of defiance and unity. The Axeman's reign of terror ended as abruptly as it began, leaving behind more questions than answers. His identity remains a mystery, his motives unclear. Yet his story serves as a stark reminder of the fragility of peace and the strength of a community under siege. In the grand scheme of history, the Axeman's reign was but a blip. Yet the echoes of his deeds still resonate. They serve as a reminder of the darker chapters in our past and the importance of remembering them, not to dwell on the horror, but to remember the strength and unity that can emerge from adversity. The Axeman's story is a part of New Orleans, woven into the very fabric of the city. His reign of terror is remembered not as a time of defeat, but as a testament to the indomitable spirit of a city that refused to be silenced. In the heart of New Orleans, the music plays on, but the echoes of the Axeman's reign of terror still linger.